Hey guys, today we are talking about controlling time in video production. Okay, how do you control time? Well, you are in charge of everything. How long things last, how long things you can extend time, you can move in time, make it longer, make it shorter, and we're going to talk about that today. Okay, so let's not waste any time and let's just jump right over here and we're going to talk about this. So, controlling video time. Let's start with a quick review, okay? Everything happens inside the frame. Remember, the frame is a different dimension. The frame is a whole nother world, okay? So, you need to pay attention to what is inside and outside the frame, okay? You're going to frame in, frame out things, okay? You're in charge, okay? Nothing happens by accident. Every shot is planned. Everything in your shot should be planned. A person accidentally walks into your shot, cut, reshoot. Okay? You can suggest things exist by referring to them outside the frame. All right? We can do that by audio or referring to it. Oh, hey, sorry, I didn't see you there. Okay? Now, you think I'm talking to somebody over there where I'm talking to a wall. All right? But I could have a conversation with my director. Okay? I can use a larger stock image. Okay? I can go somewhere outside of town. I can film myself climbing up rocks, and then I can use this large image of a rocky mountain and zoom into it and then cut to my shot, and it looks like I'm 10,000 feet up in the air when really I'm only 3 feet from the ground. Okay. Depth is an illusion. Remember, like this TV screen? This is only about this thick. So what do we have to do? You have to stage for depth, okay? You have to communicate depth. When you're thinking about it, if you want to communicate that something is farther apart, you have to stage things. Put like objects that people know how big they are in the shot. Things like that. Okay? You can also use the frame for special effects. That's an abbreviation, by the way. Special effects. Okay? And the example that we talked about last week was like turning the camera. All right? So, let's talk a little bit about time. So, first thing is kind of a disjointed time flow. This is time, this isn't really trickery, but what it is it's using your space for good communication, okay? Is where the first thing we need to talk about is you film things out of sequence. If you go on one location, you're going to shoot all the shots at that location at one time. Even if the story opens with that and then cuts back to that or goes somewhere else and then finishes up, you're going to shoot all of those. So when you get your shots, they're all out of order, okay? When we edit, okay, the editing software that everyone, no matter what you're using, it's called an NLE, okay? Non-linear editor, okay? Which you can move things around. So we're talking about non-linear here, okay, in time. So an example would be is you combine several different shots in the real world, okay, to make a sequence. So most of the time when you see indoors on television, what you see is you're on a set. You're on a studio set. They're not in a real place, okay? But when they're outside a coffee shop in New York City on a busy street, and you see them walk in, they could really be on a busy street in New York City, okay? So they shoot everything on the set, and then they go out and say, well, we need this girl walking into this room. Here's a corridor. That actually looks like maybe even at Stanford. It's very similar. I recognize that. Anyway, walks into the door, and then you cut to your shot inside the door, and you're actually in a studio. Okay? So just know that when we talk about time and video, we film in a disjointed way. Right? But again, not really trickery, but you always want to pay attention. If you have the outside of a building that looks really nice, and this is what we want to talk about, I'm walking into to meet someone, but then we have a set up that looks like the inside of the building, that's how it's done. All right? So let's really talk about controlling time. All right? So really quick, I'm going to give you this, and then I'm going to show you an example that I shot. Okay? The subject starts coming into the courtyard here. The next sequence, they're coming across the courtyard. All right? You've cut from one shot to another shot. Now, in real life, this is how long the courtyard is. So this whole middle section has been cut out. Okay? A better way to show you this is to use something like this, okay? A staircase. Now, we can use a staircase to slow down action or speed up action, all right? So if we want to slow things down, the way we're going to do it, okay, is overlap, okay? It shows part of the action more than once and use different points of view to trick the viewer. Trick your communicating time, okay? Is it a trick? Hey, I got you. Not really, okay? So here this girl starts walking down the stairs, okay? And she's walking down the stairs, and then it cuts to another camera angle from the other side. Now, if I want to extend this, this is how it's done, all right? My first shot, you see my camera's up top. And we walk down the steps. We actually shoot the whole thing. Have her walk all the way down the steps. But we're going to cut at step 10. Then we're going to have change the camera angle. We're going to have her walk all the way down the steps again. But when we cut from here to here, we're going to cut from step 10 to step 5. Okay? If I come back here, we're going to cut here to here. So it might take her in real life 15 seconds to come down the stairs, but we've made it have 20 seconds or 25 seconds. We may have a need to have this be elongated, okay? Now, same type of thing, we can also speed up the action, all right? Which is cutting out things that are in the middle, okay? Different points of view again, okay? Exact same thing we're talking about, but what we're doing here is shot number 1, again, filmed the exact same way. As a matter of fact, you can use the exact same footage, okay? 1 through 5, and then when you cut to the second camera angle, you start it here at step 10 through 15, okay? So you've cut out a whole bunch of stuff in the middle. Now, let me show you how this works. I was able to get my my nephew to come out and help me with this. So I'm going to start over here, and I'll start to play this. Okay, kind of. Now you see what's going to happen here, right? He's walking all the way down to the end. Now, I don't need to do this, but I can just show you. This is the clip. He walks all the way down to the end. See, my crazy dog gets in there. So, if this was an actual video shoot, the dog would be tied up somewhere. All right, but I just did this real quick. I had my nephew do this with me, okay? So, this whole thing, you know, took 38 seconds. That's the real time for him to walk down the alleyway here and go into the side of the barn. All right. So, this is approximately kind of the same thing, okay? I'm going to go ahead and show you this. And this is going to take 43 seconds. So hang on here, because I want you to get the idea. Now, are you already thinking, this is long, this is long, this is long? You guys are going to put this in some of your videos. So you have to be thinking about time. I want you to see how painfully long this is. He's still walking. He's still walking. There's the dog. Okay. And come on, Baron. There he goes. And he's in to feed the cows. Okay? That took a long time. That was actually 43 seconds. All right? So I'm going to show you this real quick. Now, if I wanted to lengthen time, here I've got the exact same shot. I had him start right here. I moved the camera. So here's that big, long walking shot. And then what I did is I went to the other end with the camera and I took another big, long walking shot. And then we cut to this and he goes into the barn and it fades to black. That's a minute. So I've added about 15 seconds to this. Now, in real life, you normally wouldn't add something like that to such a boring sequence, all right? But this is what you would do, okay? let me just go ahead and play this for you. Okay, now if you ask me, that is still too long, but I wanted to cut it in half to just kind of show you about cutting in half, all right? But to be honest with you, I can go over here, okay? I've got this first sequence, that's just to tell the story, and he's walking, walking. You know what? I can cut this baby back to right here. I can cut this baby back to right here. I don't think I want to do that. Okay. So there, that'll export at 20 seconds. Okay. So I've taken this big long shot. Do you need to film that big long shot? Well, maybe. I could have asked him to stop halfway there. But if you're in character and you're working through a script or something like that, you may want to just leave all of that in and take care of it here in the video editing portion. Okay, so that's really kind of what we are what we're talking about as far as controlling time. Now, notice one thing. Let me jump back here just for 1 second. I want you to notice here how I did. Okay, I added this side shot. Now, I added that side shot there. Okay, because I wanted you to see this. You know, let me cut over to here. Sorry guys, just watch. There's the side shot. Okay, all right. So the reason I added that side shot was because I knew I was going to make this cut. All right. Filming things with editing in mind, thinking you're going to make these cuts, okay? So we're moving into a place where we're going to be talking about how you control time, and we're moving into about 3 weeks. We're going to talk about different camera angles and camera movement, all right? And then we're going to jump into some other editing stuff, okay? So that is controlling video time, and again, we're moving into a spot where you know, where we're going to be using some of this, all right? So, hey, that's it for today. We'll see you next week, and we out.